Hello everybody, and welcome to exercise 2 on page 59 of the workbook. Let's read this question together. The probability that a particular brand of light bulb will last more than c 100 hours is given by the integral c to infinity of 0.05 e to the minus 0.05 t dt, and they would like us to find the probability that the bulb will last more than 500 hours. Now, first a comment before we dive into the solution here. This is a nice problem because it illustrates one of the main applications of improper integrals. They're used to calculate probabilities, and some of you will go on to take a course called probability theory or something similar to that, and you'll study this concept of probability in a lot more detail here. Here we're kind of just scratching the surface, and we've got an integral that represents a probability as to how long a light bulb might last. Okay, so the idea here is we need to calculate that integral, but we have to figure out for ourselves what the value of c is. Now, remember that c is a time, and its units are hundreds of hours, according to the way the problem is worded. And so when they give us a number like 500 hours, we need to kind of think about what value of c is that really communicating to us. All right, so I want to write down in words that time period. 500 hours you can also write out like this, using the units of c that they gave us, 500 hours. So the value of c is actually this. Okay, the 100 hours are already attached, okay, as part of the units of c in the problem. So in a nutshell, we need to use the value of 5 for our c in order to get the right number out of this. Okay, so to get this probability, we're going to do the improper integral from 5 to infinity of 0.05 e to the minus 0.05 t. Okay, and this is a calculation that we've done a few times, so this is going to be a limit from 5 to be 0.05 e to the minus 0.05 t. Okay, and this type of an integral has also come up before. So I'm going to skip a few of the details here and just make a comment that to do the details of this integral, technically you would do a u substitution. Okay, and without going through all of those details again, what you would end up with after you do the u substitution is an antiderivative that looks like e to the minus 0.05 t over minus 0.05. Okay, again, I'm skipping the details of the substitution. Okay, so there's what we need to calculate. We do get a little cancellation here. Those 0.05s go away. And let's see where this leads us then. We need to take the limit as b goes to infinity. Okay, we've got, let's see, what's left over here? A minus sign, and then an e to the minus 0.05 t. I'm going to do what we've been doing and take that term and move it into the denominator. So we can rewrite that whole antiderivative as negative 1 over e to the positive 0.05 t, because we moved the term into the denominator. Okay, evaluated between b and 5, and we're ready to substitute our limits in. Okay, so our upper limit is t equals b, so we'll plug in b for t. And then subtract the lower limit. That's going to give us a minus, a negative is a plus. 1 over e to the 0.05 times 5. Okay. And next question is, what happens as b goes to infinity? Well, the second term just has numbers in it, so that's going to be unaffected by taking that limit. The first fraction, however, notice that e to the 0.05b, that's going to get really, really big as b goes to infinity. And again, if you take a fraction and the denominator goes off to infinity with a constant numerator, it's going to go to 0. So we're going to get 0 plus 1 over e to the 0.05 times 5. That's a job for your calculator. And if you do that, you're going to get about 0.779. Okay, so what is that really telling us then? What's the meaning of that number in this problem? Well, they mentioned the word probability. That's giving us a probability that our light bulb lasts more than 500 hours. Okay, so we could say then as a percentage that 77.9% of the light bulbs last 500 hours or more. Okay, actually, I could say it this way, but I'm going to be consistent with the way the problem. They said lasts more than 500 hours. Actually, we could say it either way. It's not going to matter. Okay, we'll stick with that. Okay, and I believe we have answered the question they wanted us to.